What's up, y'all? Welcome back to another episode of Home of the Land with yours truly, Mr. Titus J. Cleveland, straight up out of New York City. Listen up, folks. On this episode of Home of the Land, we got the Knicks limping. Yes, limping their way to All-Star break. We got Brandon Miller, who's looking like he's about to take over Charlotte, like it's his grandma's kitchen. And I got some thoughts on All-Star weekend that's coming up this weekend that y'all is gonna have y'all heads nodding like y'all was at the Super Bowl last night. And speaking of halftime performances and Super Bowl performances, I got to give my takeaway from last night's performance by the Usher Raymond. You thought I was going to say Patrick Mahomes. I know what Patrick Mahomes can do. I knew he was going to win. That's why I bet on the man. So I'm not going to speak on Patrick Mahomes because I knew going in he was going to win that chip. I want to talk about Usher Raymond because that took me back. But stick around, though, fam, because we're going to dive deep into the NBA chaos, the injuries, the rising stars, and of course, my all-star requests, all right, that I would like to see, if not this year, next year, okay? And we're going to get off the right foot, starting off with the New York Knicks, man, all right? Now, let me tell you something, ladies and gentlemen, all right, about the New York Knicks. The kings of the court lately in New York City, we're talking about a squad that's been on fire, winning 10 of their last 13 games. I mean, even the pigeons in Central Park could hear, could be dancing right now. The rats in the subway could be dancing right now because we are just hitting on all cylinders right now. And they're chilling. They're sitting in fourth place, tied with the Milwaukee Bucks, Jalen Brunson and Julius Randle. Oh, they made the all-star team. It's looking like a Harlem Renaissance on the basketball court in New York City. And even Stephen A. Smith can't even contain himself. He's jumping around like he's trying out for the Knicks cheerleading squad, shouting out, "Orange and blue skies, baby. Orange and blue skies." All right. Calling out for LeBron James. Like, it's wild out here, folks. All right, but let me tell you something. While everybody's getting caught up while everyone's getting caught up in the wins and in the hype, I've been sitting back in silence. Okay, don't get me wrong. I'm a diehard Knicks fan. I've always loved seeing when our boys do good and they show up to compete. But there's something I never lost sight of within all this winning, and that's our head coach, Tom Thibodeau. The man with a plan. And by plan, I mean running his players into the damn ground. Okay. I mean, we talking about right now, we got a couple guys on the IL injury report, the injury list. Okay. Hey, Mitchell Robinson, who's been out for quite some time. Julius Randle, who's dealing with a dislocated shoulder. OG Anunoby, who's dealing with an elbow injury. I think he just had surgery to remove some bone fragments from his elbow. So three of our highly, defensive guys are not in the rotation. Okay. Jalen Brunson had a scare a couple games ago when he had tweaked his ankle, missed the game against Dallas, came back and played Indiana. But that right there, that's a scare. Why are we playing him, Tibbs? Why are we playing him? I just want to say something right there. And not to mention, we got Isaiah Hartenstein, who's also out dealing with an injury. And it's all because of this Thibodeau grind. Okay. And we are just about to hit the All-Star break, and it's in his DNA. It's Tibbs. He's gonna motivate his players. He's gonna maximize their potential. It's a key component of his, of his coaching philosophy. But Thibodeau is dedicated to the growth of development and constantly striving to help his players reach their full potential. But damn it, Tibbs, I gotta say it, man, a little load management don't hurt. It couldn't hurt. And I even hate using the word load management. But damn it, Tibbs, you need it. You need to ingratiate load managing your stars into your coaching philosophy. All right. But I love the newly acquisitions that the Knicks picked up during the trade deadline, picking up Alec Burks and Bojan Bogdanovic. The way how it bulks the scoring coming off the bench, and they had to give up no first round picks. I was impressed with the front office. Well done, Leon Rose. But I'm not letting that success get to my head just yet, man. Like I keep saying, I appreciate the wins. The energy's back in the streets of New York City. Okay, the city that never sleeps, and especially when the Knicks are winning, we ain't getting no damn sleep. But let's not forget the ultimate goal, folks. And it's making some real noise in the playoffs. Okay. Cruising our way, not through the first round, not through the second round, again, bounced out, cruising our way to the Eastern Conference Finals, or even better, an NBA Finals appearance. And to do that, in order for us to get that, we need our guys healthy as much as possible, Tibbs, and available to compete. Because I'm just going to say this. If we end up losing a series because someone's dealing with the lingering injury from the regular season, you better believe I'm pointing the finger straight at Tom Thibodeau, because I ain't got time for this. Not this season. We looking too damn good right now. We looking like a full, complete roster. We bought into the system. You need to pace these guys, Tibbs. Let them have have 70%, 85% of their body ready to play in the postseason. I don't want to hear no injuries from Brunson, Randall, or Hart, or Anunoby. Pace these guys. Please. Please, Tibbs. Oh my goodness, because we got something special here. We have it. It's a chance that we could, I'm not going to say win the championship, but to reach the finals, I like our chances. I like our chances. And speaking of chances, I like someone else's chances who was drafted with the second pick. I want to believe the second overall pick. And his name is Mr. Brandon Miller. This brother has chance. And I mean chance. I say chance. And why I use the word chance? Well, you see it right there. Brandon Miller has a chance to surpass LaMelo Ball as the face of the Charlotte Hornets. In my opinion, he's already done it. LaMelo Ball, sorry, it ain't your team no more. It's B. Miller's, okay? In just 49 games, I say in just 49 games, you heard me correctly. All right, Brandon Miller is the face of the Hornets, okay? In his last 5 games, this brother has been putting on a show, okay? We're talking 33 points against the Lakers, 35 against Indiana, 28 against OKC, 21 against Chicago, and then 29 against the Knicks. And not to mention shooting 49% from the field. Okay, but that's not even what I'm most excited about. Brandon Miller, he ain't out there just for his stats, unlike some people. He wants to win. He's about the winning lifestyle. Okay, and in the NBA jungle, in that NBA world that those 400 and what plus NBA players get to call themselves NBA players. If you're serious about climbing that tree and getting yourself in the same breath as Anthony Edwards, D Wade, Ja Morant, you gotta be serious. Okay, you gotta show it on the court, and I even think that's why even the King, LeBron James himself, gave Miller a shout out after their recent showdown. Because when the King speaks, you listen.
He's here for a reason. He's continue to get better and better, and love what I see from him. At this stage in his career, so he'll continue to get better and better.
Now let's keep it real about these young guns in the league, right? These young guys in the league. Some of them, they got a lot of skill. They got so much skill and talent, but they focus more about the cars. The fancy cars, the fancy jewelry, the fancy cribs, the who got the baddest female on their arm, who put up the most numbers in this game. They care about all that other than getting a victory, getting a win, stirring up some wins. Okay, I'm gonna say it, LaMelo Ball. I'm talking about you. I'm talking about you, my man. It's time for you to step up and get that chemistry cooking with the number one option on that team, because if not, I ain't gonna lie, I wouldn't mind trading you, LaMelo, for some players who actually want to win. Heck, I'd clean house, keeping only Brandon Miller, and not to mention they did get some nice stars. I love the fact that they picked up Trey Mann, another guy who's been hungry, who's just been sitting on the bench in OKC. He gets the opportunity to shine. I love the fact that they picked him up. So starting off with a good foot, you added another hungry dude to Brandon Miller's his camp. I love it. But LaMelo, get your stuff together or pack your bags, because Brandon ain't here for those games. All right. And I've seen how y'all interact with one another when the camera's not on you. I see how y'all interact, and I'm just gonna say that. But speaking of the trade deadline, because we did just have the trade deadline last week, there was a bunch of trades that took place. Some were winners, some were losers. But I'm going to speak on the 3 teams that I was impressed with by, with their trades. And the first team I was impressed with, if I'm not going to lie, was the Dallas Mavericks. Okay, we got to talk about the Dallas Mavericks. Now on the surface, people are saying that they took an L during this trade deadline. But I thought about it. I said, hold on, let me break it down from my point of view. All right. So the Mavs traded away Seth Curry, a sniping Jim, sent him to Charlotte to go, have his pops watch him play. And then sent Grant Williams over to Charlotte as well. They said they got sick of him. He must have rubbed people the wrong way in Dallas. I don't know how you mess up that opportunity, Grant. I don't know, but they got rid of them too, and they brought in former Charlotte player PJ Washington and former Washington Wizards big Daniel Gafford. Now the critics are saying that PJ Washington's 3-ball game ain't what it used to be, and his defensive ability has slipped. Within playing for Charlotte, but that's the key right there. It's Charlotte, okay? And what I'm saying is this: PJ's played for probably one of the most dysfunctional organizations his whole career, with no leadership ever displayed, and it lacked a winning mentality in that locker room. I haven't even been in that locker room. I've never even been in Charlotte, but just seeing how they act on the bench, I know it's probably 10 times worse in the locker room. So that winning mentality, they don't have it, okay? But with this change of scenery, I like it because I think it allows Washington's game to improve now that he's going to be playing some meaningful games, all right, and playing with teammates that do have that winning mentality. I mean, he did put up 14 points along with 5 rebounds in his first game with Dallas, and that's just basically off talent. Based on him, it wasn't that much time he had to get accustomed to the playbook that Jason Kidd likes to run. So if you look at that's solid production from his first game. Now, when it comes to Daniel Gafford, overall, I love this man's energy when he's on the floor. Okay, he gives his team life, either defensively or offensively. You see, he wasted no time getting right to work in that Mavs win over the Oklahoma City Thunder, putting up 19 points and 9 rebounds. And like we acting like Luka and Kyrie ain't holding it down in that backcourt, plus Tim Hardaway Jr., who brings that elite scoring vibe. Bro, we talking about a squad that's got enough firepower to light up that court offensively, okay? So they'll figure it out. But at the end of the day, I love this because with Washington and Daniel Gafford and that mix, now the Mavs got some extra bodies that they could throw around, some reinforcements to hold it down. So they ain't losers. They stepped their game up. Without question. Now, the second team that I liked during this trade deadline was the Milwaukee Bucks. The Milwaukee Bucks found a way to secure themselves a defensive-minded player, probably the top defensive-minded player in Patrick Beverley. Now, before y'all say what I think y'all about to say, no, okay, all right, I'm not saying that Patrick Beverley is the best defender in the NBA. I'm not saying that. However, Beverley, in my opinion, is the only guy who comes to mind other than, I say, Lou Dort for Oklahoma City Thunder, and then Colin Sexton, who plays up in Utah. I think other than those two, Beverley is the only guy who comes to mind as a player who gets up to play defense, okay? Who will come right after you after getting scored on, crossed up, or dunked on. He don't remember that last play. He's gonna come back with the same, ferocity, the same energy. He's just gonna come at you like a pit bull. And you don't see that a lot with most players nowadays because everything is just offensive driven. So I think this was a great pickup for Pat Bev. Not only that, he has made a profound impact on teams that he's been with his defensive presence. I think Chicago and Minnesota, the two teams that come to mind that he recently played for, that once he got to that team, you kind of saw the culture or the tone that was set. They just took off. And you got to give props to Pat Bev. No, he's not going to score a lot of points. He's not going to demand the ball. But one thing he will demand is that you give it your all on the defensive side of the ball. Now, you pair, just hold on, think about this. You pair Patrick Beverley alongside Mr. Bobby Portis, okay? And you utilize Jay Crowder. I mean, Jay Crowder, I'm happy. I'm kind of surprised they didn't get rid of him during the trade deadline, but heck, he's a great body that who can defend. You just added, you got those three right there who have great energy when it comes to the defensive side of the ball. I think, if I'm being honest, I think the issues on the defensive side of the ball with the Bucks should be resolved after this trade deadline. Now it's going to take some time for them to get to mesh a little bit, but the defense's take should be an afterthought. It really comes down to the offense, and now implementing Damian Lillard and him having some more ownership within the offense. But the defensive side of the ball, I think y'all set. Y'all straight. I think y'all good. Y'all shouldn't have no more issues defensively because you added a pit bull to that team. Not to mention other pit bulls that's already on that team like Giannis and Bobby Portis and Dame is one of them, and not to mention Jay Crowder. So I love it. And the third team, obviously, you know where I'm going with this one. The third team that I enjoyed watching the most would have had to be the New York Knicks. All right, come on, man. You strengthen your bench by adding elite level scoring. You don't give up any first round picks. This is a steal, okay? That's all it was. And New York knew it was a steal. I'm more surprised by the fact that Detroit didn't even try for a first round, didn't even ask for a first round. I mean, they must be beat. I'm sorry. But the Knicks, we looking good. But more importantly, the real reason why I love what the Knicks did, bro, is because, hold on, I gotta just say it. Because we can use one of our first round picks to draft Bronny James and allure the king to the Mecca. All right. That's why I'm hyped. I don't give a damn if we waste a pick for the possibility to get Bron. Okay. He's played in Cleveland, Miami, Los Angeles, New York City, and the Knicks is the only team that he needs to get checked off his list, even if just for one season. I don't give a damn. Bring LeBron to New York City. And how you do it? You draft Bronny James it could be the 7th pick, the 11th pick. It don't matter. When it's the Knicks selection, you better draft Bronny. That's all I'm going to say. Okay. Because LeBron said he wants to play with his son. New York City's not a bad market. It ain't LA, but it ain't Cleveland. All right. I ain't going to speak for LeBron, but I'm just saying, gamble with it, man. Gamble with it. And let's see what happens. Moving on. We're going to switch over to the All-Star break that's coming up this week. And I'll be honest, man. I ain't watching it. I'm not watching it. No, I can't. A few years ago, I used to be all in for the skills challenge and the 3-point shootout and the dunk contest. But now it's straight garbage. I'm sorry. I'm just telling you like it is. Okay. The only thing that will be keeping me half awake during the All-Star festivities is that 3-point contest. All right. Now they knew what they was doing when they cooked up the Sabrina versus Steph challenge. All right. That might be the only part worth my eyeballs checking out. Okay. But I got ideas. All right. I got a few requests that I like to let be known. And I'm gonna start off with this. How about we spice up the 3-point contest a little bit? Just how about we spice it up a little bit? I like the idea that you brung, the WNBA 3-point contest champion, and you're gonna bring him along, have her go up against the greatest 3-point shooter ever, because technically she does hold the record. But what I rather see, because I love with that idea, how about instead of just taking one WNBA player, how about we take the top 3 or 4 WNBA sharpshooters who shot the best percentage from 3, and we match them we have them go up against the NBA's 3-point hot shots, or the top 4 or top 5 3-point hot shots in the NBA, and let them go at it one another. I'm telling you, that's something I'd be glued to the TV from start to finish. Oh, I ain't done yet. Oh, I'm not done yet. Hold on, I'm not done yet. You looked that up. I was done. I ain't done yet. Hold on, look at this. Picture this, all right? because I seen this when I got to not cover, but I got to go watch the Nike basketball tournament out in Lincoln Center. They had a great idea, and I'm just gonna just steal their idea and try to see if you guys want to use it for the NBA. But how about we have a king and queen of the court, but with a twist though, because these are NBA players and WNBA players, professionals. You only get 3 dribbles. Okay, you only get 3 dribbles. 3. It's like a Royal Rumble on the hardwood, and I'd be here for the chaos. Okay, I can only think I can already imagine some of the players that I would love to see. Kyrie, somebody I would love to see on King of the Court, and then for the WNBA, I gotta see Drew Lloyd. I'm sorry, I would love to see those two compete in this competition because I know they would kill in this competition. But it just creates a fun competitive competition that I would love to see between both leagues. But you know, and I'm not done yet. I'm not done. I got one more thing because you guys did it a long time ago. You did it about 23 years ago. But can we bring back the baseline low cam? Okay, the view that had the streets talking. You remember that one? I miss that. All right, we need that nostalgia again, that flavor. Okay, so NBA, listen up. All right. Get that 3-point showdown started. It may not happen this year. Get it started next year. We're going to add some WNBA magic. We're going to spice up the court with the king and queen, a little bit of drama right there. And let's bring back that camera angle. I'm not playing. That was one of the best angles I've seen on the All-Star game. But you do those 3 things, I guarantee you people will start watching All-Star Weekend again. I guarantee it. But what I do guarantee is that Usher, he did his thing. He did his thing. And I can only say that. I can only speak on how well Usher performance was. Usher delivered a mesmerizing 13-minute performance at the Apple Music Super Bowl halftime show. I want to get that right. I want to make sure I say it right. All right. But with the live band backing him up, he kicked off his set on the field, shredding a regal white coat, before launching into his hit song Caught Up. This was like one of the main things. People were trying to figure out what song he was going to start the show off with. Most people thought it was going to be Yeah. Turned out that was the last song he played. Some people thought it was going to be More. I thought that would have been a nice song to start off with. I also thought it could have been Confessions. Either way, I didn't care whatever songs he started off with. I was just, intrigued, or I was just entertained. Because it just brought me back to my childhood when I would turn on, I forgot the name, but it was MTV or something like that. But I found myself, just reminiscing of the childhood days, singing along to some of the songs. You Got It Bad, Caught Up, Confessions. Yeah, it was a bunch, man. I was singing along with every beat. I was so entertained with the performance that I couldn't even care less about the second half of that game. I'm gonna be honest. Like he was singing some of the songs, and then like he would cut midway and like just finish at the end of the song. Like, well, hold on, what happened to the middle? And I'm like, Patrick Mahomes could wait, Brock Purdy could wait, Andy Reid and Shanahan could wait. You can get through these songs, man. Like, come on. But I must acknowledge that his performance was, undeniably legendary. Okay, and then, the Super Bowl halftime stage has seen a lot of great performers, iconic performers, and it wouldn't be fair to diminish the contributions of the other talented individuals. Like I can just think Prince, you got Michael Jackson, you got, Dr. Dre did his a couple years ago. You had Rihanna, Beyonce. Like you can't, it's hard to choose. How I look at it, I just appreciate the greatness of each performer. The only separation I would say was just the first time I actually wanted to watch every single song. No shot at Dr. Dre and everything. I didn't know the West Coast like that. So it didn't really touch me like that. Rihanna, she did her thing while she was in that. I had that red outfit on, but me, I wasn't in tune with that. Usher, I grew up listening to. Okay, so it just brought me back right away, and that's why I was able to, stay and be glued to the TV, singing along and dancing and everything like that. So that's the main my takeaway from Usher and his whole performance. But overall, man, that's a wrap for today's show. I want to thank you, our loyal fans, for tuning in and staying up to date with the latest news in the world of sports. Your support means everything to me. And like I always say, man, I couldn't do it without you guys. So I urge you to follow on all social media platforms, hit that follow button, Instagram, YouTube, and be sure to like, comment, and most importantly, guys, please subscribe and share the post with your friends, family, fellow sports fans that you guys have, and follow us on social media. Not only are you staying connected with Home of the Land, but you are also joining a community of passionate sports fans like yourself and myself that share the same love of the game. So don't miss out, man. Follow us on Instagram at Home of the Land Podcast and YouTube at Home of the Land Podcast. And let's do some amazing things, man. Home of the Land is where the action is, and we're excited to have you along for the ride. So I will see you guys next time. And at the end, stay motivated, stay inspired, and stay pure, man. I catch you.